Welcome back to another edition of the Mark Hope Show podcast. The spirit of the show is to help people. And one of the people that I'm helping is me. I have ended up disabled and I think that when you're retired or you're disabled or otherwise less productive than you would normally be, everyone needs a sense of purpose. And that's what this is for me. And so I go by the rule of if it helps one person, then I'm about doing that activity, even though I'm not who I used to be. I am turning into something else. But I was playing in a poker game with my friends today, and my body chemistry is just not there like it used to be, and I got ups and downs, and I'm not what totally well. I'm able to do some more things, but I still sleep a lot. And I took a nap before my poker game because this particular group of people is just, I love them all. They're just wonderful people. But I played for a couple of hours and my head wasn't there and I wasn't playing well and I didn't feel well, so I had to get up early, which disappoints me because I love the fact that I'm able to get out and play cards and even though it's nominal stakes, I enjoy the camaraderie and meeting people and a wonderful discussion with guy that owns some restaurants here in Oklahoma. And I'm probably going to go over there with Luann and we'll do a review, and we'll see what that looks like on the Mark Hope Show. But I was thinking I should have some kind of an intro, theme music, and maybe, maybe someday we'll do that. But I'm doing all the producing and all the learning about how all this works, and that's the good that it's doing in my life. And so if you're doing something, it's not important for it to be perfect. It's not. And as a matter of fact, I still haven't figured out how to do this lighting thing. Now that's too hot. And but it's kind of a cool little glowing face type deal. But it's not important for you to do things perfectly. It's not important for you to do things correctly. It's just um, I'm still working on that whole lighting thing. But see, now that just goes away. That's no good. But anyway, it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. But if you're wrong, it is important for you to be humble and admit that you're wrong. Admit when you're making mistakes, be humble, but try things. And that's why I do the Mark Hope Show the way I do it, because it's more important for me to try to learn and more importantly, show people that I can learn um, than it is for everything to be perfect. I don't care. and nobody else cares about the perfection of my podcast. I'm not trying to be Joe Rogan or whatever. But I do have a topic for tonight, and hopefully these shows, when they get dropped into the Substack and into the IQ, they drop out shorts, and hopefully the shorts will kind of take my beginning monologue that I'm just kind of visiting with you guys, and when we have a guest, that'll be a different story altogether. But these shows that I'm doing right now are essentially lighting tests or software tests, or what am I doing with each um, technical show stuff, and not the subject matter. But anyways, welcome to the show. I am going to do the show topic that I'm going to pick tonight is going to be the expense of your success. And success is, especially material success, is it's an addictive type of thing, and it's a test. I mean, it's a real test for who are you and what do you value. And if you are willing to do certain things for your success, in my view, I'm a God guy, and I'm a universe guy, and I am a karma guy, and I feel like our lives are so short that you don't really know what that impact is. And later, that plays into your cosmic line of what you're doing. I don't believe this life is just one slice, and that's it. This is not, this is, Tuesday, third period math class, third grade, whatever. It's not a big thing, but it's a lesson that we learn along the way, and we keep growing. And I think some people are sympathetic and empathetic to other people's situations because they've been there before. The soul and the spirit grows over the millennial of repeating over and over and over. And one person says, all's fair in love and war, and it's money, and let's do all this nasty stuff. It doesn't matter, because they haven't been there before. And I would like to feel like I'm more highly evolved along that nature, because different things are important to me, and I absolutely win. I absolutely want to do the best thing that I can. If whenever I was running a business, I wanted to be number one. I wanted to be the best that there was ever in that business, and the best customer service, and the best reputation, and all those things were really important, and they still are to me. But the human condition, and the larger importance in how we treat people is my focus, because that's the most valuable thing to me. And if, as long as you have enough money to survive, you're good. But if you've dirtied your memory and your soul of really abusive behavior, then that becomes a different thing altogether. So there are people that routinely prey upon unwitting or unknowing people, and they know what they're doing. And the first group of people that I'm going to talk about are the multi-level marketing franchise people. And this is kind of it is multi-level because it's multi-evil. And you get somebody that starts one of these things and they know that, that pyramid is very, 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 finite as far as who gets to benefit the fruits from that. And then everyone else at the bottom is going to get, screwed, and it's going to play upon their hopes and their dreams and their fears. And the last, it's like you toss somebody a life ring and it turns out to be an anvil, and they know that it's going to be that way, but you think, it's an anvil that's painted as a life preserver. And so you reach for it, and then after that, you're gone. And I've done comprehensive studies, about this. I joined an MLM. I joined 2 MLMs and did studies on them. And I could drag those out of the archives too if you want. But it is always somebody contributing fees and then trying to get somebody else to contribute fees. And whatever the product is almost insignificant compared to how many people you can get in your downline. And it's like, hey, if you join the lotion club, you're going to get free lotion all the time because your $100 a month, once you sign up your second person, your thing is free. So you don't have to spend any money after you get your second person on board. And third person, whatever the hell it is, that never materializes, because you're juggling all this stuff, and they hope, oh, I'm gonna get my sister involved, I'm gonna get my cousin involved, my best friend or whatever, and you're ruining family relationships, you're ruining friendships. They're doing these parties, they're inviting people over, and the people that are being approached, old high school friends, that come out of the woodwork or whatever, and it's like, oh, I haven't seen you forever. Oh, let's go and have coffee. And then all of a sudden it turns into this meeting. Why did you bring that iPad and all these, papers to coffee? And, are you making enough money? Yeah. Is anybody? And then it starts. And then you find out where the friendship is when you don't want to have anything to do with it. They stop talking to you. And it is absolutely that way. And I would love to have somebody come on the show. You're invited, as always, to come on the show and tell me where I'm wrong. The problem is with this group and the next group I'm going to talk about, they come as saviors. I'm going to help you, and that's why on my profiles, I put very clearly, especially on TikTok, and I probably should do that on the show website too, is I don't charge anything. I would never charge anything. I give away half my time, and now half my time is really all I have. Um, but during my working life, I give half of my time to helping others. and I want to get paid for that. And if you get paid for that, that's a different thing altogether. And when you're approaching these people and you're telling, I want to help you, and that's a dirty, horrible thing, because there's a difference between, hey, I want to help you buy this car because I'm going to get a commission on it. You're going to get a car, and I'm helping you do this. I want to help you um, fix your arthritis. I'm a doctor, and I want to help you. But it's very clear that you're going to pay me, and I'm going to help you, and it's going to be a financial exchange, and it's a very honest and upfront thing. You have a bad roof. I'm going to help you get that roof replaced and deal with the insurance guys and do all this stuff. Um, but these multi-level marketing people, if you look at their media, it is, oh, I've got a story about how I was, you know, getting into retirement and I didn't have enough money to retire. I was very scared. And the listener or the viewer is going along with this whole thing because I'm that way too. And my 401k and the inflation and the this and the that, I'm just like you. And they're thinking that they're commiserating with a fellow victim. And they don't realize that the wolf that's in sheep's clothing has an answer to your problem. All you have to do is, take this course or do a couple of videos or whatever, but it always has something to do with you enriching them by being a member of their group that moves them up, and they think that that's helping them, but it really does nothing at all. But they come and they don't, the litmus test, and I just went through it with this lady on TikTok. Um, she's, has 20 videos of, the business, and I'm going to help you, and this is great, and you're going to, make six figures and all this stuff. And, my comment to all these things, because I feel like, my job when I'm scrolling around, the social media, when I see one of these zombies or, familiars, vampires, is I ask them the question that exposes who they are. And in this case, I say, hey, I've watched 20 of your videos. I don't know what you're talking about. What business is this? And it always results in the same answer. And that answer is check your DMs. And then when I check my DMs, I say, why couldn't we talk about this in the thread so everybody can learn? Well, everybody's situation is different. And, I had to go back and forth with this lady like 6 or 7 times. And I said, look, I'm not fooling around. I don't want to watch a bunch of these videos and stuff, but I had people ask me how to start a home business, and I would refer somebody that was legitimately trying to help somebody. And she sent me, I said, she said, oh, well, if it's not a fit, whatever, it's only one video. And so she sends me this link to the video. Well, the video makes me sign up to this website, and I'll include it in the show notes. But it says right on there. I mean, I take the title of whatever it was, and it might even show up in the chat when I pull the chat up. As a matter of fact, I will do that. Um, I had it in Gemini. Hmm. Well, it doesn't look like I ever find it, but it was a multi-level marketing thing, and I think if I explored it a little bit further, it would be a financial, you know, thing, whatever. But why can't you be honest? I'm doing a multi-level marketing business that I think is really good, and you should try it. But they never do that. It's because it's filthy. It's because if they're honest with people about what they're doing, the people are not going to go for it. They will know, oh, this is terrible. And it's not until you've invested so much time in the thing till you realize I'm trapped in this thing. And one of the things about the multi-level marketing culture is when they trap people into these things, then when the person signs up and they're not successful, it's a personal attack on their effort. You're not being core. You're not trying hard enough. You're not automatically ordering the product. You're not doing the things that you should be doing. Otherwise, you'd get the car. You'd get the pink car, or you'd get the. One of my friends was involved in Airbon, and she said, oh, I'm getting a Mercedes just like Luann has, and she had a white Mercedes GLK 350 little mom SUV wagon, and taped on the refrigerator. And I'm saying, oh, really? Yeah. Well, they're going to give me this car. And, I'm just one level away, and then after that, I'm going to get a free car. And A, BS, B, double BS, because if you get to the point where you're making, I don't know, $600 a month doing this thing or whatever, 400, then what they do is they say, oh, we're going to give you this car. And then they have you go out and personally lease this car for, $549 a month for the lease. And you pay that out of your so-called profit. It's not a free car. And guess what happens the next month when you don't make $600? You still got a car, but it ain't free and they ain't helping you with anything. And now you got a car lease. So um, that's like Costco saying, hey, come work here 40 hours a week and we're going to give you a free Mercedes. We're just going to take your first week of the month pay and pay the lease, and that's us giving you a free car. It's unbelievable. And again, um, I was hoping that I would remember what that was. MLM. So, so this is the start of the pyramid scheme, thing that we're doing. And I'll do this show again too, because it's just so horrible that I'm sure that I'll do real world examples. Um, tear down a specific MLM. That's exactly what I wanted to do with this thing that this lady sent me. We're comparing and contrasting this. Okay, here we go. This MLM structure with a real business. And primary income driver, recruiting people. And equity value, 0. Motivational scripts, restricted messaging, it's just like almost a cult structure. And let's ask this question. What is the failure rate based on historical data for people that are getting into the late stages of an MLM? Overall success versus failure. 99% of MLM participants lose money or make little to no profit once expenses are included. And that's the sad truth. Again, if you think that you can do this because, of some other factor of your personality or some thing that you have, a buddy of mine was a professional football player back in the day for Denver, and he was a big MLM guy. And I used to tell him, bro, you're talented. Why do you do this? And he would spend all of his time doing these Zoom calls and everything. And they get very offensive. I'm like, man, this is not going to work. And I don't care that you are this famous person. You get these people to hang around with you because they sign up, and it's almost like a ticket to being your friend or whatever. And then the whole thing crashes and everybody loses. And even, you don't make any money out. You've devoted all your time to ruining your reputation. And there you go. But please, please drill into somebody's motivations. And this is section 1 of this talk. And I guarantee you that they are trying to help you. They are trying to help another one of their people that has been, trapped in the economy. And, my husband died and I'm living off Social Security, but I found this, and my husband and I are now traveling around the United States in our RV, and we're getting, money that we don't have to work for. There's no selling, you don't have to show your face on blah, blah, blah. It's crazy. And I'm going to close this out with, what are the obvious red flags in social media about multi-level marketing purveyors when they're trying to help people? Let's see what she says about this. I retired my husband. See? Financial freedom. So that's like 2 million bucks in a Roth IRA or whatever. Changed my life. 6 figures, no time frame, no expenses. I mean, it's just do these searches on this, whoever you use, Gemini, ChatGPT, whoever it is, Meta, whatever. Just do the search and say, hey, what are the red flags? And people tell you, I retired my husband, I'm going to be next. And then you don't suffer the financial losses, which a lot of times are not huge. It's just the dreams get crushed. I mean, you pay $50 a month or $150 a month for, 12 months or 2 years or whatever. And then you find out that it's not going to work. And financially, you lost a couple $1,000, but you lost, a couple years of your time. You lost, some good friends that you tried to bowl into doing this. And the worst thing in the world is for you to be successful at this, because you ask your best friend in the world to do this underneath you, and they're your best friend. I mean, I can't tell you how many dumb things I've done for my friends, and it wasn't because they were trying to make money off of it. It's just because we're stupid, and we do stupid things, especially the male of the species. Yeah, watch this. And, but your friend loses their money and you promised them it was a good deal and it wasn't, and now you're not friends anymore. And that's one of the top things that you're losing rather than money. I mean, money is like 10th on the list, but you get a feeling of failure. And these animals are feeding that. Yeah, well, you're not trying hard enough because, Susie in Florida, they're, mm. They also want to cut you from the herd too. I mean, if you're not in the Amway family or you're not going on the cruise and getting the award and the leader level and whatever, and, you don't vacation with those other people, stay in the family, because if you get in this cultish behavior. How is multi-level marketing like a cult? Also, I always include the in-show script of the AI printout, so if you're ever looking for that, it'll be on Substack or it'll be in the show notes somewhere on the YouTube video, or I can send it to you. I'll send you the actual ChatGPT link and you can play with it, or a copy of it in a Word document or whatever it is. But yeah, your cults cults don't just sell ideas, they replace identity. You're no longer Sarah, you're a boss babe, leader, mentor. Your worth becomes tied to rank, titles, recognition. Living feels like losing who you are. Leaving feels like losing who you are. And they make all your friends there. So if you leave, then, that's it. You don't have any friends anymore. And they're not allowed to talk to you either. So you know, it's a common cult tactic. Look at that. So with that being said, if you think that it's for you and you're different than everybody else and you should do it and it's good for you, do it. Do it. But every time I see one of these predators trying to tell people that they're going to retire their husband, or, financial freedom, especially since I teach free courses on financial freedom, because I was a poor kid and I started my own business and I had to learn how to invest myself. And, I want to help people and make it easier for them to figure out how to do all this stuff. And I don't want anything from anybody. And it makes me look bad. I'm like, hey, how about financial freedom? I'll help you. Let's make $5. Let's invest $5. Let's make it be $50 a month, but you don't have to pay me anything ever. These guys, oh, we're helping. No, no, you're not helping. You're hunting. And it's terrible. So that is the group that I want to point out in this show. And I'm going to end this show with this, and I thought I could do both, but there's another group of people that are here to help, and they're not. And that is the life insurance people. Whole life, ULA, infinite banking, be the banker. We're going to help you. And they are not helping you. And I've done a little bit on this, but I'm going to keep doing more of it because they don't, they're not honest with who they are and what they're doing. And whenever I talk to these guys, I see it coming from 10 miles away, and then I ask them, so do you sell life insurance? Tell me you sell life insurance without telling me you sell life insurance. And then they've got to say, oh no, I'm an annuity guy and I do the, you are hurting people. And I am going to be pointing them out. And so if nobody told you that they love you today, I love you. And there's no darn thing you can do about that.